Let's shift focus now to the controversy around Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy, whose comments that he feels like slapping some young journalists who he claims have no respect for senior journalists has caused a furor, Vasudha.
Absolutely. Revanth Reddy's comments have sparked a fresh controversy. He has said young journalists don't even know how to respect their seniors. They don't have basic sense to stand up when senior journalists enter. They sit in the front rows during press conferences and give me the look as if I should greet them and bow down my head. Sometimes I feel like slapping them, but my position comes in between.
That's right. NDTV's Uma Sudhir has the details. Let's also listen into what Revanth Reddy said.
నాకైతే అప్పుడప్పుడు అనిపిస్తుంది దిగిపోయి పల్ల చెంపలు వలగొట్టాలని. కానీ పరిస్థితులు హోదా అడ్డం వస్తుంటాయి. గతంలో జర్నలిస్టులను చూస్తే మర్యాద ఇచ్చి పలకరించి ప్రెస్ మీట్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత వాళ్ళతో 10 నిమిషాలు మాట్లాడి మేము చెప్పిన దాంట్లో ఏమన్నా లోపాలు ఉన్నాయా లేకపోతే మేము చెప్తున్న ఉద్దేశం ఇదే అని.
We have Sama Ram Mohan Reddy, spokesperson of the Congress Party. We also will be joined by Rachna Reddy, spokesperson of the BJP. Ram Mohan Reddy, how would you even defend this statement by your Chief Minister? Because this clearly does not really, is not befitting of the Chief Minister of the state.
I was our Honorable Chief Minister Revanth Reddy has expressed his feelings that, in fact, he was distinguishing the real and fake journalists who are in the guise of journalism coming up and propagating lies or spreading misinformation or spreading hatred on their particular YouTube channels, which they claim as some serious news channels, just like NDTV. They are comparing with the senior most journalists like you or Rui Raghav or some other senior journalists, yet they lack the basics of respecting them. They don't have any recognition. They are not registered, yet they claim themselves as journalists. They come and sit in the front rows. They don't give any respect to the seniors and offer any chairs or show any respect.
Yet but sir, feeling like slapping them is taking things a little too far.
Yes, sir, and we are all professionals here. Age does not really matter, and we are all professionals here. And who is the government to designate us as fake journalists and senior journalists and junior journalists? We are all doing our jobs here, sir.
But first of all, there should be an accreditation at least to claim yourself as a journalist, right? See, my point is, our CM is in fact protecting the interests of honest and real journalists and journalism values, because our government is going to come up with a digital policy where we can recognize the people who are into digital platforms and who are into the satellite platforms. There should be some norms. There should be some guidelines, because every Tom, Dick and Harry in the guise of journalism coming forward and abusing the system and abusing the administration, sometimes abusing the family members of none other than
asking questions, right? Rachna Reddy, how do you look at this as the opposition party? Because it's the job of journalists to ask questions and it's not the job of
government. And there is also the question of the fact that there are also journalists who masquerade as journalists who are actually perhaps employed by political forces themselves. So that part of the argument too is there.
But then, when you say slapping journalists, that actually gives a very different connotation, and it's actually a threat that's issued to professional journalists. Rachna Reddy.
It's very patronizing. I mean, Veera and Vasudha, good evening to you and to Ram Mohan. It is very patronizing, and it is a case of sour grapes, because this is a chief minister who's come on the pedestal of I'm being harassed, I'm being threatened, I'm being this, my family is being brutalized, this, that, and everything. Now, when the journalists are turning the tables and actually reporting the truth of Telangana and the truth of his administration in Telangana, he feels like slapping them. He feels like stripping them naked and parading them. Yes, he has stated these gems also very recently in March, when vis-a-vis 2 women journalists who had the audacity to go to a farm in Telangana and interview farmers there. And when the farmers interviewed had venom and abuse for this chief minister, he had the audacity to pick up these women journalists at 4 and 5 in the morning and arrest them.
Right.
And at that point of time, the words used by this man, who calls himself a chief minister, who actually is a chief minister, unfortunately, is that he's going to strip them naked and have them paraded. These are the words used for women journalists. And he has the audacity to now talk. I mean, his administration, maladministration, no administration aside, he
Go
has
ahead,
the
Rammohan
audacity
Reddy.
to talk
Ramon,
about
are you indulging in
talking-
vilification of journalists, because that is a serious problem?
Yes,
See,
he has.
Rammohan
should
Reddy.
check.
Rammohan.
No, no,
He has.
One second. One second. Rachna should check the facts before addressing to the media, especially on this official platform, because see what she's saying is that the women journalists who were arrested in a case that was not recorded in some farm, that was recorded in none other than BRS party office. BRS party office. They called in an individual. They gave a script to him.
Congress
This was
party
recorded. Rachna is an
selectively
advocate.
alleges this.
Rachna is an
But
advocate.
no,
She should go through the
I'm
inquiry
not just
report.
an advocate, Ram Mohan. I'm a designated
Come
senior
on.
counsel.
See,
So
you being
I know
yes.
what I'm
So
talking
then you
about.
should check the
Okay.
facts. Then you should check the facts.
Allegedly.
Let us
So
let
as
us
you say, we
confine
need to
the
check the
truth
facts.
now.
Let's
Two
just
women
listen.
journalists being threatened with being stripped and paraded naked. He has the audacity to talk about who is fake, who is real, selectively. Anybody who is
Rammohan
talking
Reddy,
against
quickly
him is
respond to it,
fake,
because then I will put,
and
our colleague
everybody
Uma
who's
Sudhir.
coming for the government is real. It's rubbish, actually.
Go ahead, Rammohan
See,
Reddy, very
our
brief
Honorable
response.
Chief Minister Revanth Reddy Garu has taken a wakalat of protecting the interests of true spirit of journalism.
So that's what
Okay,
Rachna is
so
saying,
you're
Yes, he is
patronizing.
expressing his views.
So we don't want the
Because
patronizing
see,
attitude, right?
some random individuals, we are not going to entertain or tolerate any random individuals in the guise of journalism come up with some nameplate without having any registration.
Well, there is a-
Yet they abuse the
There are
government or abuse the
questions.
individuals or
There-
trespassing into their properties
There
and
are multiple
extorting money
layers to that.
should not be tolerated.
Rammohan Reddy, there are multiple layers to that that's discussed. Let's just listen into what my colleague Uma Sudhir has to put this whole conversation into perspective.
So Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy was in fact addressing journalists at the 10th anniversary celebrations of Nava Telangana, a Telugu newspaper. The Chief Minister sought to make a distinction between professional journalists who have been in fact sacrificing almost their life or health for the well-being of people, talking about people's issues, their problems, and also the omissions and commissions of the government, and generally contribute to society and used to be respected. But he says because of those who are masquerading as journalists on social media, on YouTube or on digital platforms, who don't know the ABC of journalism or anything else, he says this is a category of people who think that they wield power and expect to be treated in a particular manner. That is the category of so-called journalists, he says, who get under the skin of the Chief Minister. And of course he expressed that very violent emotion of saying that I would like to slap such people. That of course is not becoming of a Chief Minister, but he was saying that this category of journalists who fire and scoot, he advised a professional journalists to in fact identify themselves as distinct from the other group.
Rammohan Reddy, you can just sum up your argument, 30 seconds to the two of you.
See, we are confined to protect the interests of the true journalism values because Telangana state is standing tall with all its progress, and we have opened the doors for the criticism. Unlike BRS party in 10 years closed the doors of Pragati Bhavan or Secretariat, or they prohibited Dharna Chowk, or they kidnapped journalists, we have opened doors for serious criticism as well. Come on, it is an open platform, but let there be a
To make that
constructive
comment.
Yes,
criticism.
that's a valid point.
In the
Rachna
guise of
Reddy,
journalism,
the
let
Congress
us not
party
give any
saying that
scope
they've
or
made
room
the
to-
government more accessible in Telangana. What's your response?
This is absolute selective blackmailing, because this stripping, parading naked, slapping. This is the kind of language the Chief Minister of Telangana is used to and often uses against a lot of people. So this bold statements about we are here to protect people, journalists, etc., is nothing, because here it's
Maybe
selective.
BJP
If
having
you are
its
talking
fake news and
against me,
propaganda
I'm
in
going
its
to
We'll
strip
leave
you
that
naked,
conversation,
parade
but
you
I
and
think the
slap
final
you.
take
If
is
you are
that
not
a
talking
threat
against
to
me,
slap
I'm going to
journalists is
garland you.
unacceptable,
So the
would be
patronizing nature
a
of
generally
men.
accepted comment. But thanks very much to the two of them for joining us.